Yo, yo, man, on some true shit, like this episode of Kill la Kill, episode 6, it made me want to just start practicing kendo. This shit was beastly, man. Because, normally whenever you see like one of those kendo swords, you're thinking the shit's pussy. Because, I'll be honest, because when you compare it to an actual real samurai sword, you're like, wow, like, samurai swords are actually beastly. The kendo swords are for trainees, they're for rookies. But when I'm seeing Sanageyama do, and it's just monstrously beastly. Men do kote, 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 men do kote. I'm like, yeah, that was fire. That was fire. Men do kote. Listen, the first time it was a slaughter, but then she covered all of his eyes by cutting a piece of Senketsu. So we see a lot more cohesion going on between Ryuko and Senketsu. And they're able to one-shot him. But the second time, it's a no contest. He slaughters her. It's just Sanageyama. Men do kote. This shit kicks off. Like, she thinks she got him because she does the same thing that she did before to stop his heaven's eye, which he had the first time, and he overutilized that and he got cocky. And then when she gets hit, she's shocked. She's like, "What the hell's happening?" And then all of the fiber or all the clothing that was on his slits where the eyes normally are, they peel off. And then Senku says, "Look, we see that his eyes have been sewn shut." Cause the Eerie, the sewing guy. And then I find it kind of funny how amongst all the high school groups, one of the most important groups in this high school is the sewing division, is the sewing club, and they only have their leader is the 1-star, but still, like it just throws you off either way. The fucking the sewing club, like that would never fly in real life. Like, yeah, like the popular sewing club. Like, which school is the sewing club popular? You tell me. Probably in all girls school. I'm just saying. It was like beastly because after that point in time, he's like, "Mother," and then here I come. And then you just see, like, he just got big as fuck. Like, dun, dun, dun. And they have a beautiful OST playing in the background. Dun, 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 dun. And we have Matoi. She just freezes. She's shocked. She's like, and because he's so intimidating. And then he begins the attack. Men do kote. Men do kote. And he's like, "You're terrified." She's like, "Are you kidding me? I'm not terrified." And then he just stops you right there with the men. And then he's like, "I can see, like the smell of your sweat, he can see the inner workings of her mind." And then we have that aerial shot of the entire planet. And I'm sitting here, I'm like, dude, how in the mind's eye greater than the heaven's eye? And I'm sitting here, I'm like, bro, this is insane. This shit normally never happens within the course of one episode. This would probably take like several arcs to occur in a regular battle show or even a regular seinen, to be honest. Shoujo I'm not really that, into, but even a manhwa like The Breaking New Waves, this will take a while for someone to go to this type of metamorphosis. But it was in one fucking episode. It was one episode. It was one episode, man, where it was like, fuck, I'm back. Mind's eye. And he just beastly. He's Mendo Kote all the way. And he was so devastated where his own Goku uniform overheat. Really? They can do that. So not only can the 3-stars transform, just like the ones that have the Kanwi, the Kanwis, but they can overheat as well. So Sanageyama is technically too good for his Goku uniform, and if he goes out too hard, it will overheat because it can't handle the skill of Sanageyama, which means that he may need a 4-star. But then again, we have the sewing guy. He says, "I revamped your uniform." So, but it's still 30% life fibers. So, I mean, I think he needs 40. The guy needs 40. Absolutely, he needs 40 now. Like, this guy, he's a monster. It overheat. Who ever heard of that? A Goku uniform overheated. I've never heard of that. Up until today. Duh. So, that was something new. And it was something very cool, because this means that potentially there are individuals who are even stronger than the current 4 generals amongst Honyoji Academy. Or we actually may see other individuals rank up. Like, for example, we may see Sanageyama, Ira go up in their Goku uniform life fiber percentage. Go to 4%. And speaking of life fibers, we actually see life fibers. Like, we see like so aside from the actual main battle, because that was the main battles, because that was the main focus of the episode, like just like the main battles, and Sanageyama and his past with Satsuki, which is actually somewhat, I don't think the words heartwarming are exactly where I want to go, but it was kind of touching. It was kind of touching, where at first he seems very cocky about it. He's like, once it's all over, treat me to some tea. Then at the end of it all, he's like, I just came here to say thanks, because without you giving me a second chance, this would not have happened. Me getting this new ability. And then as he's walking away, she says, "Hold on, I still owe you that cup of tea." And he's like, "No, it's okay, because my senses are so high right now that I'll probably burn my tongue." So, like, that right there, to me, because at the beginning, he was very cocky, very pugnacious. And at the end, he's very modest, very humble about it. So that was a very nice transformation about how the character, their interaction, and when it comes to Sanageyama's character development overall in this episode, just spiked exponentially. So, I mean, at this point in time, it seemed as if like he is the most, I wouldn't say in sync, but it seems like he has the most connection with Satsuki. Where in which we know that's not the case, because when you look at the flashback, when she first met Sanageyama, she already had Ira and the music girl, and I think his name is Iori's the sewing guy. I think his name is Inumura or something like that. Like the tech guy. She already had them under her wing. So, but I guess when it comes to with Sanageyama, I think it's more of a just like a respect thing, where she actually like respects the guy because of what he was able to sacrifice, which were his eyes. And his eyes beforehand were his pride and joy. He honed those, where he actually attained a skill called the Heaven's Eye. And in one episode, in one night, he was able to sacrifice all he's worked for to attain even greater power. And I think she truly respected that. So that, to me, I think was very, very good and shocking. I was like, what? All in one episode. Which brings up the pacing. The pacing, this is one of the fastest paced episodes I've ever watched in my entire life. I'll be very honest. It was very, very, very fast. It was very fast how they were able to just imbue so much character development in one character and actually do a decent amount, no, not even a good amount of character interaction between him and Satsuki. So that was good. And then also there is a lot more. There's some character. There's a lot more character interaction when it comes to Ryuko and Junketsu, where again they're now more in sync. Where she was even able to cut off a piece of the life fiber on the shoulder to cover the slits on Sanageyama's Goku uniform transformation. And I forgot what it's called, like the blade something. And at the end of it, like they seem to be like a lot more cohesive when it comes to Matoi and Junketsu, which is actually explained by the professor at the beginning of the episode, as he's trying to say like the organization that I work for, Nudist Beach, and he says it 3 times, like Nudist Beach, and then she's like, "What? We are Nudist Beach," and then she's like, "What are you talking about?" And then he's like, "The organization name is Nudist Beach." I'm like, no, like, was funny. This shit was hilarious. So that was good. That was very good. So it does touch upon. Oh, and there's one more thing. Because we know about the life fibers, and like there was a whole like box of them shits. They shipped in somehow by someone, and I'm assuming they were shipped in by her mother. And we see her mother, and it's like, what is going on? Well, we don't see her here. Like we see her lips. Her nails are painted. Her lips are, you know, lipstick and all that kind of stuff. She looks high in class. She's in this ridiculously huge building, like on some near Toriko size buildings. Like, it's just a huge fucking building. And I think it was called, like, it had a name. Like, I think it was RECOV or something like that. Like Recove or something. I don't know, but the building had a name to it. And when you look down the sides of the building, they remind you of the... Well, if you guys... Let me show a picture of what I'm trying to talk about. You see where there's a symbol that we see a lot in this series so far. Either in the opening and the ending, or when it comes to sometimes in the anime, where we see the Kamuis transform. And it's like there's people holding hands, and then like they merge into like these threads. And what I believe is that the life fibers are in fact the lives of human beings, like condensed into like these strands of fiber. And that's why we have like these people holding hands, and then they become the threads themselves. Furthermore, I believe that when it comes to her mother, which I believe her name is Mistress Ryuko or something like that, I think that she is involved in the production of the life fibers. So either that or the excavation of the life fibers. Again, I don't know, because they could be natural or they could be man-made. I don't know. But what I can say is that the life fibers probably did come from her, and or the Kirin family. And we do find out that Satsuki, she has decided to, instead of focusing on getting quality 2-star Goku uniform members, she's going to focus on quantity and get a lot of them. And because people like Matoi, people like the anti-uniform guerrilla units, Nudist Beach, they're coming into the framework now, and they're being a lot more upfront, and it's probably because of Matoi and her involvement with the school, Honyuji Academy at this point in time. So, oh wait, and there's one more thing. Oh my god, there's more shit. We see Junketsu, and for some reason, notice how Junketsu never actually... We don't ever get some acknowledgement that Satsuki's talking to Junketsu. We know that Senketsu talks to Ryuko, but we don't have any acknowledgement or any note of, like any information whether or not Satsuki can talk to Junketsu. Now, when we see Junketsu, like Satsuki, she's taking a shower, and then Junketsu's actually pinned up against the wall. And then she says it's quite tiring. Ryuko has no problems at all wearing Senketsu. And they communicate, they talk, they're friends, they're buddies. And she's never complained about, being fatigued or being drained while wearing Senketsu. But Junketsu, on the other hand, apparently is constantly taking energy from, at least that's the way it seems. Like Junketsu is constantly taking energy from, Satsuki. And also, it appears as if Junketsu doesn't talk to Satsuki. Therefore, they are probably not fully compatible. So, what that means exactly, I don't know. It could be a bad thing in the future, or it could be a good thing in the future. Where in which, if maybe she does become more compatible with Junketsu, then she will attain even greater power, Satsuki. Because we see Ryuko, her Goku uniform is always consuming life fibers. Every time her Kamui is consuming the life fibers of the Goku uniforms every time she beats someone. But in the case of Junketsu, Junketsu is probably a more perfect Kamui. But because Satsuki can't bring out the full power of this Kamui because she doesn't talk to Junketsu, and Junketsu apparently is taking copious amounts of blood, and we do know before Ryuko could actually fully utilize Senketsu. Senketsu was taking a lot of blood, and there was a time limit for the amount of time she could stay in her transformed state. So it may be something along those lines, and that's what I'm believing at this point in time. Because there has to be a reason why it's episode 6, and even though episode 6 normally isn't that long of a way into a series, this is Kill la Kill. And Kill la Kill, they cover a lot in one episode. So you have to wonder, why is it, even though we're on episode 6, there has been no communication between Junketsu and Satsuki. And it's probably because she hasn't fully awakened the powers, or she's not qualified to wear this wedding dress. So, but I'm done. The episode rating overall, I thought it was fantastic. I thought it was I'll probably give it, yeah, you know what, I really like Sanageyama because he's a cool dude. He's a really cool dude. I respect him a lot, and I'm going to give it amazing. I thought it was an amazing episode of Kill la Kill, so I'm done. King Lightning, be sure to, of course, rate, comment, and subscribe. As always, peace. Have a nice day.